So this is our first Zoom gathering for mindfulness meditation, and it's the first time I've delivered this type of training using Zoom. So bear with me if you have any technical difficulties. Coming from the martial arts world, I learned to meditate pretty early on in my life, around the age of 12, when I started karate. And later on, when I really took karate seriously, some of my karate teachers introduced me to Zen meditation, which really is the essence of what they call mindfulness meditation nowadays, which is kind of a global term which encompasses Zen and Vipassana and Vipassana meditation and just general focused sitting meditation. So to this day, I've practiced this form of meditation for my entire life. When I was training in Dublin, doing martial arts practice many years ago, it was a different world then, and it was kind of a scary thing going into the dojo, because you never know if you were going to come back out of the dojo with your teeth still in your head. So dealing with fear and working with that was something that I had to get used to, and meditation really helped me during those times. Later on, when I started to compete, I also had to deal with fear. And again, I found that mindfulness meditation practice was really, really helpful, learning how to separate myself from those physical experiences of fear and anxiety and come to what I call the center, or what is called the center, which is really the hara and the breath. And we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. So as I got older and started my own business after college, again, I found that, dealing with the stresses of business life, pressures of meetings with CEOs or boards of directors, or being up against a tight deadline in the design studio, brought those kinds of same sorts of anxieties and stresses that were common in my martial arts experience. And so I found that mindfulness meditation was extremely helpful in terms of managing my ability to focus on the work, my ability to deliver on time, and my ability to perceive more clearly what was required for any specific job or any specific solution to a marketing problem or a design problem. My background, by the way, is graphic design, so that's what I'm referring to. So I've like you all, I've had times in life where things don't go the way you want them to go, and bad things happen and good things happen, and all sorts of things continually happen in life. And sometimes we get dragged down into a place where we're in a reactionary mode rather than a control mode. Okay. So in other words, we're sort of acting from the unconscious mind rather than the conscious mind. So mindfulness meditation, I have found, has really helped me to be more conscious of what I'm doing, although Ashley may disagree from time to time. So being more conscious, being more aware of where your reaction is coming from, and being able to just put a little distance between your conscious mind and your actions so that you're more in control is another great benefit of mindfulness that I have found has helped me in my life. Thank you for joining, those who just joined. I just gave a brief intro to my background in meditation and mindfulness. And I wanted to just say that this practice is accessible to everybody. It's not something that is unnatural. It's something that is accessible to us all, and something that I think is very much needed for all of us today. But just, I wanted to dispel a couple of myths, first of all, about mindfulness meditation before we start actually practicing. What mindfulness meditation isn't in terms of popular belief, it's not like taking a kind of vacation or a holiday or going into a lovely space, okay? It's more about practicing a state of being, which allows you, as I was describing earlier, allows you to act more consciously rather than unconsciously. So the practice of mindfulness meditation is very much an effort and a practice. It's something like, if any of you, there are some of you who practice yoga, there are many of you here that practice martial arts or practice an instrument or something like that. To get better at it, you have to practice. So the purpose of me doing this Zoom meeting today and future Zoom meetings is really to give you the tools that you need to start your own basic meditation, mindfulness meditation practice. So no one is capable of waving a magic wand and all of a sudden being enlightened or being in nirvana or being super happy or anything like that. That's not going to happen from mindfulness meditation or from any of the practices that you already do. But what it is going to do is little by little by little, mindfulness practice will build the capacity for acting more consciously and being more present in the moment, rather than being caught up in the what I call the monkey brain, or the brain that is continually distracting you by being either stuck in the past or being projecting into the future. So very often, if you catch yourself for a moment and try to do an inventory of what is going on in your mind, you'll find that 9 out of 10 times you do that, you're either thinking about something that happened in the past or you're projecting towards something that may or may not ever happen in the future. So mindfulness meditation really brings us to a place which we call the present moment, and is that place which is always between the past and the future. So mindfulness practice really builds the necessary mental muscle, and it is like building a muscle, to constantly return to that present moment. Okay, so why is that important? Well, obviously we can't go through the day without sometimes thinking of the future and thinking of the past. That's absolutely right. But the present moment is vital for enjoyment of anything happening in your world, purely eating a meal or taking a beautiful walk in nature, or executing a meeting like this, being able to speak from the heart, speak in a state of flow, or as a martial artist, being able to enter into a sparring match without being distracted by the fear of the moment, or without being distracted by the opponent's movements, for instance, being totally in the flow state. That word flow is often used in yoga as well, where people practice yoga purely and they move through the asanas and the postures without thinking and without considering how they look or considering anything but the beauty of the actual movement and being there in the body, experiencing those poses. So some of you also, I know there were some musicians here in the room. Some of you are aware that, you know, when you get into that flow state of playing an instrument, it's such a beautiful oneness where you don't really reflect on anything else but being at one with the music in the present moment. So building that muscle in the brain that allows us to return to that state that exists between the past and the future, what we call the present moment, is the purpose of mindfulness meditation. So we are living through a particular unique time in history, which really I think is unparalleled since 1918, perhaps. We have an opportunity to use this moment to improve our lives and do something for ourselves that benefits the entire world. Sitting down on this cushion and working with you today is, for you, the greatest kindness you can do for yourself, and also the greatest kindness that you can do for the world and for those around you. Because I don't know if you can think of the analogy of being in an airplane, and they often tell you, if we have a sudden decompression of the cabin or a loss of altitude, the oxygen mask is going to drop. And a parent's first reaction will be to want to reach over to the kids and put the mask on them. Whereas actually what they tell you to do is put the mask on yourself first so that you're in a better place and you're able to have oxygen in order to help others. So sitting meditation practice, mindfulness, is a bit like that. So taking the time for you to sit and to practice becoming a better person, becoming more present in yourself, being less reactionary and more in the state of now, is beneficial not just for you, but it is an act of kindness for everyone around you and for the world in general, because that gets passed along. So this state that we're in today with what's going on with this COVID reminds me of a quotation by a very famous meditation teacher named Pema Chodron. Some of you may know her books, but she talks a lot about uncertainty. And what we're seeing happen in the world right now is a lot of uncertainty. No one knows what's coming down the pike to us. The people who are supposed to know, that we trust and we think should know, all of the people in the political world, the doctors, the specialists, the experts. I mean, no one really knows what's coming next. And it's a perfect metaphor what's going on in our lives on a daily basis anyway, because who really knows what's coming next? From moment to moment, the only thing that we ever really have is what is happening right now. The past is gone, does not exist. What is coming in the future, we do not know. So it is living in a complete state of uncertainty all the time. So this is nothing new for us. It's just that we are really being confronted with it because we cannot hide from it. So Pema Chodron says the root of suffering is resisting the certainty that no matter what the circumstances, uncertainty is all we truly have. And that's a really profound thing. Let me say it again. The root of suffering is resisting the certainty that no matter what the circumstances, uncertainty is all we truly have. So I thought this would be a good thing for us to consider today as we've met together to get into this, get into learning the tools a little bit of mindfulness meditation, and what our purpose is really to sit with our uncertainty and to get comfortable with it, because there's no hiding from it. I think the further you try to run from this sense of uncertainty, the more uncertain it becomes and the more anxiety that it builds. So some of the tools that we're going to talk about today in mindfulness will hopefully equip you to deal a little bit more consciously with this issue of uncertainty as we go forward in the weeks and months ahead. So one moment in terms of the heroes that we see out there in the world today, the nurses and doctors, the people delivering their packages, the people in the grocery stores. We've all been aware of those people out there putting themselves at risk, doing what they have to keep things moving for us. That puts a lot of pressure on people. I know that for me, doing this is my effort to try to help out there in the world. We'll all find our own methods and our own abilities. But like I said earlier, the act of actually taking care of yourself, sitting down and learning to meditate, is probably the greatest act of kindness that you can do to bring peace and happiness to your own loved ones, to yourself first, and then to your own loved ones and to the world as a result. So just consider that as we practice. So the tools of meditation, I'm going to talk a little bit about because they're, it's like, driving a car. Okay. you have this car, you got to learn how to drive. You got to get a learner's sticker and stick it on the front or in the windshield so that everyone knows to stay out of your way. You've got mindfulness meditation practice is a little bit like that. It's not something that you can just jump into. Like anything in life, learning an instrument or practicing a martial art or whatever it might be, you have to literally practice. And like I said, build that muscle or build the capacity to experience staying in the present moment between the past and the future. Staying in that present moment is the goal. Okay, so you need those tools. And the first tool is posture. So posture is vital for sitting meditation practice. Posture basically means sitting straight. That's the simple way to put it. Sitting straight with the spine fully up and with the crown of the head pushed up towards the ceiling and the chin just gently tucked. Okay, so if you just become aware now of where you're sitting and become aware of your spine. Okay, so we're sitting straight and we're keeping the spine straight and we're just gently pushing the head up towards the ceiling and keeping the chin a little tucked. Okay, and the legs are sitting in the. Can you all see my knees? Yep. Okay. So the legs are either in. I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can sit. You can either sit like me, which is called the half lotus or the modified lotus, where the left leg is tucked in close to the cushion. You should be sitting on a cushion, by the way. Your sit bones should be on the cushion. The left leg is tucked underneath, and then the right foot is placed on the calf muscle of the left leg. This allows the knees to be firmly on the mat, on the blanket, or on the cushion. Below your sitting cushion. Okay, so if you're sitting on the floor or on a comfortable yoga mat or on a blanket, your cushion underneath your sit bones should be there, and then your knees should be on the floor on the blanket. So this is the half lotus. Or you can use a modified half lotus, which is then you lift the foot down if that's too painful, and you let that rest then just on the floor. The main point is the knees must have contact with the floor. And you'll see that my body makes kind of a triangular shape. This is really important. It provides the stability. The lotus position is one of the most important positions in traditional yoga practice. It is considered the essential position for meditation. And there is another posture which you can use, which I'll move on to in a minute, but I just wanted to make a point that sometimes you'll see photographs of people meditating and you'll see them with the knees up like this, okay? This is the number one thing you don't want to have happen. So if you cannot sit with your knees touching the floor and touching the mat, then don't sit in the half lotus or full lotus position. Because it's just not right for your hip flexors to be trying to support you. The whole point is in lotus position is for that to facilitate your spine being straight, okay? And for your hara, or the belly, to be forward. This is really important. If you can't sit with your knees comfortably on the floor, then you can sit in a position which in martial arts is called seiza. So you take the cushion and you place the cushion underneath your sit bones between your legs and you sit like this. So again, the knees are firmly on the cushion or on the floor and your hara, your belly is slightly forward. Your shoulders are dropped and the spine is straight. Okay, this is a wonderful position to sit in. I don't recommend, many of you who practice martial arts for years know that we don't use a cushion in the dojo. I don't recommend sitting like that because it's very bad for the knees and it doesn't actually support your spine in the same way as it does when there's a cushion below. Okay, so this is also a really acceptable and beautiful way to sit. And if you can't sit on your legs at all, it's perfectly acceptable to sit in a chair. So sit in a chair, but just make sure that you're sitting straight and you're not resting on the back of the chair, and that your knees are straight in front and that your feet are flat on the floor. So now the knees and the feet are firmly in front of you and the feet are really solidly on the floor, okay? So if your chair can't allow that, try to find a chair like an ordinary kitchen chair or a stool or something that allows you to make sure that those feet are flat, because we want to maintain contact with the earth, okay, gravity. This is another important part of meditation, and this is why we usually sit on the floor in meditation. It's to provide that contact with gravity and that contact with the earth. So once you've decided which position you're going to sit in, then the attention comes back to the spine, okay, and keeping the spine completely straight, and the chin tucked. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what's called the koshi, which is the small of the back, just above the lower coccyx. Okay, there's a natural curvature in the spine here, and that curvature should be coming forward. It should be assisting the belly going forward. It shouldn't be bent out of shape back the other way. It should be slightly forward. So you should have a sensation of supporting your whole spine from that lower back coccyx position, the sacrum. Okay, we call that the koshi. A lot of power there. Okay. This koshi provides a connection between the front of the stomach and the back, okay? In martial arts, we talk about the hara, or the belly. It doesn't really mean belly, actually. It means hara. The direct translation of hara is ocean of energy. In a lot of Asian cultures, the belief is that the hara is the place where our soul resides. In shiatsu practice, I practiced shiatsu for many years. The hara is the place where a lot of our memories are stored, and a lot of our unconscious actions arise. Okay, so in martial arts, we always talk about moving from the hara. And in sitting meditation, although we're sitting still, there is movement. And the movement is the movement of the breath going in and out. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the movement of the breath in a moment. But let's come back to posture again. So we're sitting with the spine straight. The knees are firmly on the floor in the half lotus, full lotus, modified lotus, or in the seiza position. Or your feet are flat on the floor sitting in a chair and your spine is erect, and your koshi, your sacrum, is not naturally curved. Okay? Naturally curved. Now, I want you to sit there for a moment. Just relax your shoulders. Keep aware of the spine being straight. Okay? And let your shoulders drop. Just let the shoulders drop. And let the belly drop. Now, when I say let the belly drop, I mean, don't hold the belly in. Let the belly come out naturally, as if you have a little pot belly. Okay? If you're a beer drinker, that's going to be easy for you. Just let it go. Okay? Now, breathe in and out from the belly, letting the belly fill with air, and then breathing out, just letting the air naturally come out through the nostrils, but don't pull the belly in. Okay? Leave the belly out. I know that may sound strange. So because normally we think, okay, we breathe in with our chest, and then we breathe out, and the chest concaves. We breathe in, the chest. We don't want to do this in mindfulness meditation practice. We want to breathe with the belly completely so that the chest is not moving. The spine is straight, and we're sitting solid, and the belly is expanded. It's full of energy. We're breathing into the belly, let the belly expand, And we're letting the breath fall out again, and the belly stays expanded. Okay, we're going to do a little exercise. Take your thumb, your right thumb, and put your right thumb just below your solar plexus at the top of your stomach. Okay? Now, what I want you to do is push your belly out and push your thumb into your belly so that you can feel your belly pushing out. Okay? Now, what I want you to do is breathe in, push out the thumb. Now, breathe out, but keep the thumb pushed out. Breathe in, keep the thumb pushed. Breathe out, keep the thumb pushed forward. So you're pushing the thumb forward with the belly, even when the air is out. So breathing in, breathing out. Keep the thumb pushed forward. Breathing in, breathing out. Keep the thumb pushed forward. Breathing in, breathing out, keeping the thumb pushed forward. What you're feeling here is really the action of what's called the diaphragm, the muscle underneath the rib cage, which when you breathe and push out, activates and pushes downwards into the abdomen. Okay, we call this hara breathing, or Zen breathing. Okay, kokyu, breathing down in the belly. Okay, throughout your meditation practice, you're going to breathe like this. For many of you, I know it's going to seem counterintuitive, but it's a practice that once you get the hang of it, becomes very natural. Any of you that are parents that have watched your baby sleeping in the crib, so just sit for a moment and allow your eyes to just rest on the floor about 3 feet in front of you. Allow your eyes to remain open. Allow your eyes to half close, perhaps. And just for a moment, I want you to sit with that energy and just try to feel your full body. You feel your heartbeat. You'll feel the blood running through your veins. You feel your spine being straight. You feel your shoulders relax. You feel your chest relax. You're feeling your belly breathing. Your belly is expanding with the breath, staying expanded as you let the breath out. Become aware of the room around you. Just feel the energy flowing through your body. Good. Okay. So these are the main tools that we talk about, and finally, the last tool is called in martial arts we call it Zanshin. Zanshin means panoramic awareness, being aware of everything around you, your peripheral vision, what's above you, what's below you, and even what's behind you. So in Zazen or in sitting meditation, mindfulness meditation, what we're trying to do is we're trying to use the eyes, or Zanshin, the Chakunga, okay, to be aware of all of the space all around you, the light in the room, and the spaciousness around you, okay? We're not going inside. There are other meditations for going inside. This is, as I said, the meditation for becoming fully present in the moment, here and now, in this space, on this cushion, in this body, okay? So you don't close the eyes in this meditation. Keep the eyes fixed approximately 1 meter or 3 feet in front of you on the floor, okay? And you allow the eyes to just rest gently on that spot. And for many people, what will happen is you'll notice that your eyes will begin to flicker, and you'll think, man, I can't control my eyes. Don't worry about controlling your eyes. Just let them come back to that little spot on the floor, and allow your vision not to focus just on one spot, but to take in everything around you, okay? To take in everything around you and be aware of all of it, okay? Unified with your mind, with your body, with your posture, and with your breath. So now we're going to practice a couple of basic exercises. We've got four exercises we're going to do that are going to basically walk you through all of these tools these methods that we just discussed. And the first is going to be just quietly sitting in your posture, and your focus of attention is going to be on the breath. Now, we talked about the hara breathing. We talked about allowing the shoulders to relax, letting the hara or the belly be relaxed. The body has a system of energy that moves through it, which we use in shiatsu practice or in acupuncture. Okay, so when you go to the acupuncturist and they put a needle into a tsubo or a place, an energy plexus, okay, they're using the electrical or energetic balance or the chi in the body. They're trying to bring balance to the system by inserting needles into different places, okay, either through a yin or through a yang tsubo. All right, this is a very ancient practice, and it's something that again martial artists are familiar with, and in meditational practice you need to be aware of. So we talk about the mudra. So the idea of this mudra, which is called the cosmic mudra, where you place your dominant hand. So if you're a right-handed person, you place the right hand on the bottom cup, like the shape of a cup, okay? And then you place the left hand into the cup, all right? And then you just gently rest the cup down in your lap so that the back of your forearms is resting on your thighs. And you hold your elbows gently by your sides. Some of you remember Master Shomitsu, great martial artist. He told me once, he said, when you sit like this, pretend you're holding two very fragile eggs between your elbows, okay? And you don't want to crush them, and you don't want to drop them. Okay, so you're just gently holding those soft eggs there like that. Okay, then the next thing to consider are the thumbs. So the thumbs just gently touch. They gently touch. You don't push up and you don't let them flop down. So they really form a kind of a bridge. So what is the purpose of this cosmic mudra? Well, the energy I just was talking about with shiatsu and with acupuncture, what we're doing is we're creating a circuit, okay, literally like an electrical circuit, so that the yin and the yang energy can move properly throughout the body, smoothly through the body. So this connection links the left and right side of the body, putting it really simply, but it also provides an energetic connection. It allows that chi energy to flow easily through the body. Okay, so that's the purpose of the cosmic mudra. Next, regarding that energy, there's a very famous meditation teacher named Tyson Deshimaru, who's actually a great swordsman as well. And Deshimaru said, sit in mindfulness as if you are a freshly opened bottle of beer. Not like yesterday's half-finished bottle that's gone flat. Well, what does that mean? Basically, you should sit full of effervescence, full of bubbles, full of energy, okay? And you should be conscious of that energy as you're sitting, fully conscious of the energy moving through your body. So it becomes an energetic practice, not a kind of lazy practice or not a kind of going inside and disappearing practice. It's very much about being fully present in the body, being fully present and aware of the energy in your entire body, the circuit of energy that is moving freely through the cosmic mudra, up and down the spine, assisted by the gravity of the earth, assisted by the placement of the knees or the feet flat on the floor if you're sitting in a chair. So these are very, very important points for sitting mindfulness. Energy. And this is really where we're returning to. In our Western culture, we often think a lot about the shoulders and the chest. And, you know, I know that a lot of people try to build up this area at the gym, and they talk about sucking in your belly and having those washboard abs, right? Well, I'm telling you the exact opposite now, okay? You're going to sink the shoulders, let the shoulders drop, let the chest relax, keep the spine straight, and let the belly go out. Just let the belly go out and breathe in the belly, okay? You can practice this thumb exercise to get the hang of it on your own. Another great way of doing this, by the way, if you have time, is you can get a little weight, like a 10-pound weight. You can lie on your back. You can put the 10-pound weight on your belly, and then you can push it out with your belly and breathe in and out without letting the weight go down. That's another exercise. Okay, this is called belly breathing or kokyu, hara breath. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what you do with your hands, okay? So there are different what are called mudras, M-U-R-D-R-A, mudra. You'll see like this kind of mudra and these kind of mudras. These hand positions all have a specific meaning in old meditational practices that are derived originally from ancient India and places like that. And they all have different purposes. Now, I want you to breathe through your nose. And for this exercise, we're going to just, for 1 minute, we're going to allow ourselves to breathe through the nose, in and out, filling the hara. And I want you to try to feel the air as it moves through the nostrils and back out through the nostrils. So bring your attention fully into that experience of the air going in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. In through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. All right, so for 1 minute, on the sound of the bell, just concentrate on the breath. Okay. So did you notice your mind wandering sometimes? And then you would come back to the breath, come back to the experience of the breath? I hope so. That's the idea. As the mind wanders, you come back to that sensation of the breath going inside and out of the nostrils. That's one exercise to just introduce you a little bit to focusing on the breath, which is one of the key parts of mindfulness meditation. We call it the anchor of the meditation because throughout the meditation, the instruction is always to return to the breath as soon as you realize you become distracted or caught up in the past or caught up in the future. Okay, to be in that center place, which we call now, right here, right now, the anchor is the breath that allows us to come back to that. Okay, so exercise number 2, we're going to also focus on the breath, but this time we're going to change it up a little bit. I don't want you to focus on the sensation of the breath going in and out of the nostrils. This time you're going to focus on only the exhalation. Okay, only the exhalation. So in meditational breathing, we try to breathe in the belly as we discussed in the hara. We try to take a normal inhalation, a full inhalation, but then we try to breathe out as long as possible, as long as possible. So this long exhalation is focused in the hara. So you're not blowing the air up, you're just letting the air out slowly, gradually, being fully conscious of the hara being full. And remember, we talked about the diaphragm pushing slightly down as you pull up into the spine, supporting the ceiling. Okay, so it's the long exhalation. So I'm just going to do a demonstration of what I mean by a long exhalation. Okay, I'm going to use the sound mantra Om. Okay, so you'll hear it. You'll hear how long it is compared to the in breath. So here's the in breath. And then again. Okay, so the out breath is 3-4 times longer than the in breath. Okay, CoQ. This is meditational breathing for mindfulness. So now we're going to practice that. You don't need to make any sound. That's a different kind of meditation we'll cover on another day. But you'll focus that out breath, slow, controlled, down into the belly, down, exhaling every little bit of air until it's complete. There'll be a moment where you stop breathing, then the air will come back in. Okay, so we're going to do that for 1 minute. Come back into your posture, shoulders are relaxed. So 1 minute, deep breathing. All right. Long exhalation. So now we're going to practice combining the long exhalation, the posture of the body, being aware of the effervescence of the body, the power in the body, the sensation of fullness, of energy, the mudra, cosmic mudra being the circuit, building that circuit, sensation of strength in the body and strength in the hara. And now we're going to bring that together with the eyes, okay, the gaze. It's a generalized gaze which takes in everything. We talked about Zan Shin. So this gaze takes in everything, your whole peripheral vision, your sensation of above and below, your sensation of behind, okay, and the breath. Now, as you focus the eyes 3 feet in front of you on the floor, allow them to rest naturally. And when you breathe out, really become conscious of your vision. Become completely conscious of the room around you, almost as if you're like a cat that's gotten down on its hunkers and it's watching a mouse and it's waiting for the moment to jump. Okay, it's waiting for the moment to jump. So this is Zan Shin awareness for mindfulness. It's sitting fully aware, energy in the body, energy in the breath, full hara, focusing on that spot. Okay, so for now we're going to do that 1 minute. Okay, come into your posture, take your cosmic mudra posture. Okay, settle your eyes. Long exhalation, focusing on the eyes. Okay. So now you have the posture, the lotus, half lotus, the seiza or the chair, feet flat. You have the cosmic mudra. You have the spine straight. You have the hara breathing, long exhalation. You have the eyes fixed, chakunga, zanshin awareness, all around you, above and below you. Okay? All coming together in an energetic body. Next exercise is sound. We're going to focus on the sound. We're going to focus on the eyes, the breath, the posture, the energy in the body, and the sound. All of that together. Okay? We're not trying to move away from distracted noises or anything that's going on around us. We're trying to absorb it into our breath. So as these sounds arise or disturbances arise around us or in our daily life, we're breathing them into the hara. And we're becoming aware of our breathing. We're becoming aware of our posture. We're becoming aware of our energy and absorbing it. Okay, so for the next minute, you're going to follow the bell. When the bell rings, you're going to follow the sound of the bell all the way down until it disappears. Really focus on that sound, following it down all the way down until it disappears. All the time focusing on the breath, the long exhalation, the eyes staying fixed, and your posture. Okay, let's start. Sit straight, become aware of your posture, cosmic mudra. Follow the sound of the bell. Okay. So now, as you focus on the sound of the breath, the sound of the bell, the breath, the eyes fixated, panoramic awareness, the posture, the cosmic mudra, solidly on the floor with the knees or the flat of the feet, spine straight, strengthen the lower back or the sacrum, belly breathing. All of these things are coming together in the practice. So now we're going to move into the final exercise, which is going to be an extended practice for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. This 5 minutes is going to be trying to bring all of this together in a solid 5-minute mindfulness experience. So what we're going to do is the most basic fundamental practice in mindfulness, which is called counting breath. So what we're going to do is we're going to have our posture, as we discussed, all of those important features. Don't squeeze the eggs, don't drop the eggs, hold the energy lightly between the thumbs, letting the circuit of energy move through the body, keeping the knees firmly on the floor and the spine straight, eyes 3 feet in front of you. Get there now. Straighten your back, relax your shoulders. Breathe into the belly. Now, keeping the eyes half closed, we're going to do 10 breaths. So we're going to breathe in as we described before, just breathing in naturally and then breathing out a long exhalation. And that will be one. At the end of the breath, you'll take an exhalation, an inhalation, and you'll breathe out a long exhalation. That will be two. Okay? So I'll demonstrate. You'll breathe in. One. Two, and so on. Okay? You'll get to 10. When you reach 10, return to number one. You'll be distracted. You'll lose count. All of those things will happen. You'll get a pain in your knee or whatever. Just return to the breath. As soon as you notice the distraction, whatever it is, then return to the count. Return to the count. When you lose track of the number that you're counting on, move back to one. Okay? To 10, out breaths, back to one, and start again. Okay? So short meditation, 5 minutes. So let's get my timer going here. As I do that, just find your position, settle into your posture. Relax your shoulders. Breathe into the belly. Long exhalation. Straighten your back. Stay with the count. Stay aware of the entire room. All right. So you probably, like everyone that practices the basic fundamental counting breath meditation, you probably lost count a couple of times. If you didn't, that's great. Uh, it is difficult sometimes to do that, particularly in an extended meditation where we sit for 30 minutes. Um, but it's a wonderful way of really bringing yourself into your own breath and being present in the place we call the now, which is, as I described earlier, that place that lives between the past and the present. Being here now is what this is all about. Okay, being here now and working with the uncertainty that we talked about, working with the disturbances around you that we talked about, and just being able to come back to the breath, come back to your body, come back to your posture. So in this practice, as you extend from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 20 minutes to 30 minutes, as you extend your capacity to be able to sit and hold your attention for that long, as you leave the cushion and go into your life, you try to bring that experience of returning to the breath into your daily actions. So, as I said, that gives you the ability to act more consciously and less unconsciously. Okay. So, if you just bring your feet out to the front, extend your legs for a moment. You can just rock them back and forth a little bit like this. And then just put the flats of your hands on the outsides of the legs. Just slap up and down. Let's wake up those legs a little bit. Nice firm slap from the outside going up and down. Now we can do the inside of the legs up and down. And then go to your left side, take your hands like you're making a circle, and then push the muscles all the way down, push the blood down into the feet, like you're massaging the muscles, just stroking downwards towards the ankles on the left leg, pushing down, and then changing sides. On the right side, same again, pushing down, making sure to squeeze the muscle and push the blood right down into the feet. Very good. So thank you again for joining today. I hope you got something from it. Try to bring the practice off the cushion into your life. Try to experiencing the breath, lowering the breath into the hara, relaxing the shoulders. And for anyone that practices a musical instrument or roller skates or cooks food or practice a martial art, then bring that practice into what you do in your practice, and you will really feel quite differently about what you're doing. So thank you very much. And I will be having a Zoom meditation on Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, US time, New York time. And we'll be doing another meditation then at 8 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday. That's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll post to Meetup so that you all have the details if you wish to join. They will be shorter meditations. They'll be 30-minute sessions. And you'll be able to bring some of what you learned today to those. We'll be doing another Saturday workshop. Stay tuned so that we can, for some of you who came late and missed a lot of the intro, you'll be able to get that again, okay? So have a wonderful day, and bring your hands together. By the way, this has different meanings for different people, but I was taught that this bringing together of the hands means past, future comes together in one breath. We live in the moment, right? We live in the moment. Thank you. And if you have any questions or observations or suggestions, you can post to Meetup. A lot of you have, I'll put my email on Meetup so that you can, if you want to email me directly, if you have any questions, feel free to do that, okay?